I built this loft the year after I moved in my house, probably around 89, 88. And it originally went from this far left area where the window is down to where the air conditioner is. What I subsequently did is the room where the air conditioner is, I used to use that for a breeding room also. But I made that, I put a concrete floor in it and made it for my kennels. So we have a grooming room in there now. Anyways, we have, the back of this loft looks just like these 4 pens right here. And we use these 4 front pens here for the white homers. When you go in here, it's where I do my individual breeding. It tends to be dark in these cages, so I put these lightings in here on timers. So right now I have Gabe Glenn's birds in here, 2 pair of Rick Shanings, and 5 pair of Rich Haze's. So we got about maybe 1 more round, 2 at the most to go with these guys, and I'm gonna wrap it up. Didn't have enough room in the beginning, so I made an annex back here. So we have some white homers back here. This was actually doubled as a feed room at one time, and we would mix our own feed, cut it with corn and stuff for these homers to keep the cost down. But there's actually 10 nests back in here too. And if you count the top of the things, you put probably 12 pair in here. So once again, we're a little low on homers, so we're gonna raise some in here. A lot of these birds got to be going through and taken out of the circulation here, but we'll do that here in another month or 2. So this is what the room looks like. It's heated in the winter if I want to start early, but I'll have enough birds next year where I don't think I'll have to start early. Go down here, and this again was part of my, it was the first loft. Both sides are the same. Just like in the Eagle loft, you feed from the hallway, water from the hallway. I have young birds in here. That's the only reason, squeakers, that I only put the water down close to the floor like that. Normally it's up a little higher. And it's configured where how they can go out in the fly pen. When it's time to go to work, we put these traps in the windows, and all these pens open the same way, on both sides for that matter. And what I've been doing in recent years though is when I break my rollers up, you could put 50 birds in one of these pens, 48, something like that. So I put the hens in one and the cocks in the other. And the whites the same way. 1 pen cocks, 1 pen hens. And then they winter in here, so I don't have, there's always empty rooms depending on what time of the year. So all this stuff naturally is empty. The back room, when those white birds aren't in there with all those bucks perches, I usually keep my holdover kits back in here. So I have plenty of room to do whatever I want, and I'm okay with that. Some people think I'm crazy, but that's what I enjoy. So like I said, this was the first loft I built. Back in the day when I built this was all a showroom. This whole room was lined with show cages because we had show rollers then. And my buddies and I would just come in here and have a ball on a weekend looking at our birds, or looking at my birds anyways. So that's the whole shebang. When I first built my large loft over here, the 50-foot one, I originally had my 4 kit boxes out here. They're still usable. I just didn't like being outside. But each one will hold a number of birds. Had the boxes set up like this. These did have traps on it. And once again, everything I fed from the outside and watered from the outside. And before I built the kit loft, I needed more kit boxes. So I built these and only had them for, I don't know, only used them for maybe a year. Didn't care that much for them. I took the perches out of them, but they're nice boxes. It could still be used if I had to. I don't know if I want that many birds. But all they need is a fresh coat of stain and it looked brand new. And same way, I don't know if I left the traps in these or not. No, I took the traps out. What I didn't like about this is after I built the building over here, these are just outdoor aviaries for the eagle loft. What I didn't like about this is releasing the birds between the 2 buildings. And that's when I decided to build the kit loft that I showed you earlier. These are just some extra breeding cages here too. So these are my old kit boxes. I'll give you a little tour of what we call the eagle loft. This is actually a breeding loft that originally I built for white homers. We were running a little low, so I put some in here. I've been using this loft for rollers primarily, but we needed to raise some whites too. And as you can see, I feed from the hallway. Everything's done in the hallway here as far as feeding and watering. I have the water cups on the outside. Over there, again, the Winsmore. And this is into 2 sections here. I think you could tell I got these yellows in this section. There's 20 nests in here. And there's 24 nests over here. When I originally designed this was just going to be a weaning pen for the white homers. So I just got some extra birds in there for now. And my powders, my 3 powders that I just enjoy looking at. But, let's see what else. Got, I got to fill it up, but this is normally full of 10 grain pellets. And then this was just a winter mix for the homers that I'm finishing up. And let's see what else. We got the automatic nests. I've shown those to people before. I have these timers. So you turn the timer on and those belts will clean 44 nests in about less than 2 minutes. You just watch till they start coming clean. Most of the time I don't watch, I just set it for a couple minutes to come on. But you can see. And then it just dumps it into this closet. Clean the closet out maybe once a week, every 2 weeks. I have all the lights, although they're off, so we got skylights in here, but I have all the lights on timers. So when you start breeding season, I can have them kick on like at 3 in the morning or whatever. And then just for some ventilation, the air moves through that far end right across here and out the door and the windows in the front. And then naturally we close that up for the winter also. So this is the eagle loft. A little dusty, but nonetheless the eagle loft. Well, these are two of my lofts. I built this building on the right with the eagle above it. Naturally, we call it the Eagle Loft. And back in 2017, I believe, I added that section on to the left, which is my kit loft. And to me, my dream kit loft. So I'll show you what that looks like. I have 8 kits in here, and poop barrels underneath when we clean the floors. I mean, clean the floors of kit boxes. This first box, it's more narrow than the others. That'll hold 15 birds, and then the next 6 will hold. Let me back it up a little bit. There we go. The next 6 will hold 22 birds each. And getting towards the end of breeding season, so we're getting a little filled up. I have grit boxes on them. It doesn't seem to make a difference to me by letting them have grit. But if I want to, I could pull them off. As I showed you in the other video, I could feed them from the outside after they're done flying, or we just put the trays into the kit boxes here. The doors just open like that. And we water from the outside. And then if it's real hot and they're taking in a lot of water, we have the larger cups that'll hang in the same place. I also did this with my feed. I built a little shelf, and I keep what's called 10 grain in here, a bucket of wheat, a bucket of Milo, a bucket of peas, bucket of pigeon candy. And as you all probably are aware, your breeders don't eat. They're real picky about what they eat, and when I get tired of looking at it, I dump it in here, and I could use this for the kit birds also. The blue one's full of that too. So when I'm weaning my babies, this is the youngest kid here. They don't even call it a kit. I'm going to be sending some of these yellows to my friend, but I just leave feed in front of them all the time. Give them that 10 grain and some pigeon candy. Put a waterer here till I'm sure that they're drinking, and then they use the one out here also. And once those yellows go, I'll have a little bit more room. But that's pretty much it. There's my little, should have dusted it off for this, but my 11 bird national plaque. Let's see what else. Got to clean this corner up a little bit, but all my junk in here, all the various things we like to play with. And back when I had my South Africans, those were the South Africans that I had. And this was when I won the national in 2018. And some of my buddies were here for that. And this was a World Cup. I came in 32nd. I was kind of pleased with that since it was the World. And that was back in 2018 also. And I keep a grease board just for some notes. My water jugs, my Winsmore that I give them every day, and I put that extra light with that wire hanging down just for those birds that I'm the babies, so they have a little extra light on them. And that's about it. This is the interior of my kit loft. Oh, one other thing. You can probably see it's about 6 inches down to the floor, and that wire is on legs that I just lift up and pull out, and then I can scrape those floors. And I was telling Jerry when we did the podcast that rather than just have plywood floor there, I took this stuff called FRP. It's like a plastic that they put up in bathrooms, restrooms, that kind of stuff. One side's smooth that you put the glue on, and one side has bubbles on it like humps. But I put the smooth side up, and it makes it very easy to clean these. I pretty much just use a tray like that, and I could clean that less than a minute. And that's about all I could think of to show you in here. So that's it. This is how I settle my young birds. If you look at number 5, I'm able to hang that wire cage on hooks below the doors, and I just let them free loft for a while. And the ones to the left, 6 and 7, 7 are the youngest, and 6 will be letting out like that probably over the weekend. This is Thursday. And then basically what I'll do is I'll show you another video when I'm ready to call them in. I'll hang a cage up even with those other ones with a tray in it. And if you see those white doors on the top, they flip open, and then that's how they'll come back in. They drop in through that door on top. While they're eating, I just come up, close the door. What I really like about this though is that I could stand right up against those cages while they're eating and keep them from get them used to me being close to them. But anyways, this is settling right here. Okay, some of these birds, it's the first time they've been out. I'll show you how I call them in. I let them eat out in those trays a few times, but that's how I call all my kits in. I don't use any traps. Once they're done eating, I just have a little flag that I shoo them into the loft and slide the door closed and move on to the next kit. When they're done eating, I'll let that kit to the left out free loft and do the same thing. Hang a cage down low that they could just walk out, leave them out for an hour or so, keep an eye on them, and then call them in to eat. And I just do that every day till they take to the air, and it works for me. I'm going to keep this short, but this is just, I'm letting that second kid out now for about an hour. See if they take to the air at all. And then we'll call them in like we did the first kit. This would only be about their second or third time out, if that. I kind of rearranged some of them by family in the kit boxes, so some have been out, some haven't. I'll show you how I move these cages around and call these birds in. Evidently, it's the first time out for those three, but they'll find their way in sooner or later. And that kit's been out about an hour from the last, when I showed the video of them coming out the first time. So they get the hang of it pretty quick about dropping down into that cage. But like I said, those three, it's the first time they've been out, so they're not quite sure what to do. So that'll be it for this. Thank you. At one point when I had the Homer business going pretty strong, I had this loft down at my son's about 30 miles away. He ultimately moved to a different place, so I brought the loft up here and we used it for a couple of years. This year, though, we happen not to be using it. But this is an enormous loft. We built this. And have a small section here and a larger one over there. The year I lost all my